And they're running a few minutes late here today. Let's get this out of the way. On she goes, and up she goes. Hook it on the wall. Laundry stream, yes, if only. Just a second, let me check the temperature. We're cooking still. What's the temperature? Not quite there. We have a fresh batch of soup this morning. The laundry rack, so we have no room, of course, so it's too high, it's too low. So Aoyama-san, he made a neat deal. This is years and years and years ago. There's a hook on the wall, and there's no pulley. There's just a loop up at the top, and down she comes, and up she goes. And I'm going to have to build another one sometime in the next few weeks. I'm going to have to build another rack in this room for raising and lowering. Because the sizing, the one that I'm going to be doing today, up to now, we've been taking it into the next room to hang up. And that's what's going to happen today as well. But starting in a few weeks or next month or whenever we get going on it, that's not going to be possible anymore. I have to build a rack just about here above my head so that when the sizing is finished, I can pull the rope, lower the rack to the proper height, hang up the paper, hoist it back up out of the way. We've got 3.2 meters here of height, more than enough to keep it above our heads. Somebody's guessing student printers. Good guess based on past conversations, but no. Student printers, if only. We're almost there. It's not quite warm enough. Just a second. I couldn't turn the heat on for that till I got back from the pool. I couldn't leave it simmering, and I got back at 7:35 or 7:40 today. So that's when the heat went on. So it's taking a minute to get to... What is my teasing you about today? It's not teasing. I'm going to take the camera in. I'm going to show you. I'm going to talk about the plant, and I need help. Did I tease? We talked about this a while ago. There's a bunch of projects now cooking. Because of the huge problem with our subscription business model, we are having to open up some other ideas rather than just pack it up and run away. So different projects are now going to be happening here this winter. Some of them I will need help with. Some advice, some will be hired help. So over the next few streams, this one and Saturday and Monday, whatever, we'll be talking about different projects and how you can get involved. I'm not trying to tease, just please, step by step, explain stuff that's going on. Also, please remind me, when I pour this in, I have been known to forget this. We're cooking 3 liters there. We're going to pour about 2 liters in here. I'll put another liter back there. When the stream's finished, I put it into the fridge. But I keep leaving the gas on. I don't keep leaving it on, but sometimes I keep the gas on. And it turns out we have a bunch of sticky glue in the bottom of the pot, or worse, after I've poured it out, I put the pot back on the gas table, and there's a little heat still applying. So please remind me today to turn off the gas. New IT department to create our custom tax software. Tax issues at the moment are behind us for, I guess, at least another year, as far as we know. We did, I'm not sure how much I updated you. We did receive our refund that came through. I think I updated you about that. At the moment, there's no specific bookkeeping or tax or government issue facing us. There is an issue with the tax accountant that we use, the guy, the outside, not an auditor, but the outside tax accountant that we use. It looks like he probably doesn't want to be doing our business anymore. I don't know if we talked about this or not. because of our problem using custom software, his hands are tied. It's difficult for him to understand a lot about what's going on here, and he's really leery about his responsibilities. When he signs papers to show that certain numbers are going through and taxes due, he's really supposed to understand those numbers. And this poor guy, I guess not a poor guy, but this guy out there, we give him the numbers and we've got the backup data, but he doesn't have the backup data. I mean, the data behind the numbers. How did they get these numbers? Is this true? So I get it. He really doesn't like doing our business. And maybe, I think I told you about this, he phoned a few weeks ago and said, would you change to using Japanese standard package software? And I said, over my dead body. I said it politely. And he said, well, I'll have to think about this. And we had a polite conversation this way. So anyway, but that's okay for now. We're still quite not at temperature. Okay, one more thing then. While we're waiting for that stuff to heat up, I can show you something else. When I did the laundry a minute ago, did you see what was on the floor below it? Frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 in that pile. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 30, 31 here, and there's a bunch more in the next room. 31 giant, incredible quality, fabulous, super heavy, rich matted frames which we are throwing away, or we're trying to get rid of, trying to find new homes for, and we're not having much success. I can't ship them. Don't even start asking. We can't ship big, heavy glass frames overseas. Unless you want a container full. Okay, I think we're there. The point being, these are frames, of course. We buy framed prints from the furniture dealers from different places I'm not going to expose to talk to you about. A lot of people, when they're cleaning up from their parents or when people are downsizing, they get rid of stuff that's in their house. And a lot of them are huge, big framed prints that have been on the wall. We want the prints for our shop, for our customers. We have no use for the frames. And we now have dozens and dozens. And the biggest ones are in the next room over there. We have dozens of these things. Take them all to hard off. I don't think they want them. I could try that. But our problem is we have no way to move these things around. We have no truck. We have no car. We're in the middle of downtown Tokyo. Okay, heat off. Off. Heat is off. 2 liters. About 2 liters in here. We've called art colleges. No response. We have had some success. We've got a couple of people who do now and then come and pick some up. For example, one guy, he's got an artist's group, him and his buddies. They do Nihonga painting. And for Nihonga painting, those guys do it big, and they need big frames. So every few weeks, every few months, they come over and pick and choose and take a bunch of them. You have poured the size in. The gas is off. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep reminding me. I need a bit more, I think. What we need is somebody here in Tokyo who can see this as a business opportunity. Wow, I can go and scoop those frames from Mokuhankan. I can sell them to artists all over Japan and I can make a fortune. That's the person we need to find. We have no time for it. There's huge value there, but we have just no time. No time. There was indeed paper to take out today. Somebody's asking me. It's Ayumi-san's paper. It's here on the table waiting for her. She may come during the stream today. She's the only printer due today. Yuki-chan is not. She's working down in the Ginza today. And Ishikawa-san is off for a few weeks taking care of her father, who is in a difficult situation. So fly fish is talking about, there's quality is all over the place. Sometimes we get these things, we take the print out the back and oh my God, there's sellotape and there's this stupid piece of plywood that the print has been taped to and stuff like that. There is really grunge stuff here. There is also museum quality stuff here. There's a full continuum of work here. Some are junk. But in most cases, even as Flyfish is mentioning, even if the internals are not so good, if the wooden frame structure is fine, you can do what you want inside it. Okay, we have here, I had to make a decision when I cut the paper last night. We have today thin strips. This is from a large sheet of Takenaga paper. If I stand, it's about, as I look in this window right now, if I get it about there, my arm space right here is about the same size as the sheet of paper that I used here. And I cut it in four, half over here, I cut it in four strips. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to make 2 prints from each one. And I could have cut it in half. Got a bigger backboard here, gone in my drawer and got a bigger brush. And I could have done it in wide piece, 2 of these side by side. If you see this paper, imagine 2 of them side by side. I could have done it, but it's giddy, and also this brush doesn't have a whole lot of hair. Compared to the brush that you'll see me using in a minute, the hair is short and it's a little bit on the thin side. And I want today's sizing to be ta-puri, to be a good full flow of sizing. And doing it wide on a brush that's not quite up to standards, I'm really worried that the sizing would be not strong enough. So I'm going to double my work time. By cutting it in half, I've got 10, 20, 30 sheets to do instead of 15 sheets to do, but I have much more control over the process. Much more control. And hey, we've got time. We've got time. So we'll do the 30 sheets, and I think at the end of the stream here, there's 3 things that might be happening. Hanging up the paper. We have goods for show and tell, but something else, it's about the winter plan for construction that's going to happen in that room. And I want to get some of your advice on this. So we'll see. If I get this done early enough, we'll put the camera in there, pan around the room, and I will ask you for some advice. Design advice. We're going to need a bigger brush, yes. Someone says, it must be a frame shop in Tokyo. There is a frame shop in Asakusa, just down the street from here. I think I talked about this before. I took one that I could carry, a reasonably small one. I went in the door, and 25, 30 seconds later, I was out on the street. She started yelling at me, screaming at me. Before I could even explain that I wanted to give her, she just threw me out. A really, really repulsive, just whatever, not a nice person. I don't know, she had the idea that I was some kind of sick salesman or something, or she doesn't like foreigners. I don't know. I didn't even have a chance to explain myself. And she's, go, 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 go. She just pushed me out. So, okay, lady, no problem. She's got a frame shop due south of here. She's on Kaminari Mondori, just about 40 seconds walk from here. Might have been a good idea to go empty-handed rather with a frame. I don't know. She was just an awful person. Okay, the mix today, we've lowered the nikawa, the glue. The mix I've been using for the past couple of weeks, because the printers were all getting pilling, they were all getting feathering, and it was really hot, the paper was weak, I upped the nikawa, the glue. For the past few weeks, I've been using 55 grams per liter with a 30% alum. 30% meaning 30% of the weight of the glue. So if I put 55 grams in, 30% of 55 would be the amount of alum. I have now, for this batch I cooked today, I've brought it down to 50 because we are not so stinky hot anymore. We are now down to reasonable temperatures here in this room. What does it say? I can't get the light. It's 18 degrees here, well, with the hot stove here. So maybe it's 16, 17. Very, very comfortable. If I could stop the calendar today, I would happily stop it. Let's roll. Now, because it's narrow, my fear is that I will be getting too much liquid on these things, but whatever. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, we have 30 strips to do. 30 strips. I'm going to do both sides. Let's do this thing. So we're just going to really use this part of, we're not going to use this part of the brush. Looking good. Stripe one is good. No specific pool news. Today's Thursday. I've been to the pool 4 times this week. She passed me once on Monday. She didn't show Tuesday and Wednesday, and she passed me once today. So I've got a good stable exercise happening this week. The weight has been stable within a few grams. The pool time has been stable. The morning routine here is totally copacetic. Everything working as it should. Looking good. Someone said, take him to book off. John said hard off. I know there's potentially a huge amount of money for them there. The problem is the logistics. Getting it to such a place, and for them saying, do we really have a place to put these things? These things are large, they're heavy. There's a huge potential in them, but it's sort of a lot of logistics to make it happen. I just want someone to come over here with a truck and just take them out of the way, free. There's huge value in those things, but not for us. No bath problems in the pool. The ladies' side is still under construction. I have no idea what's actually happening over there. All I see is the signs are still there, and the ladies are using, I think, stairs to go up and down to the bath in the lower floor. There's nothing happening on the men's side. There has been maintenance. Some of the taps have been fixed. So they are doing bit by bit maintenance on the men's side. It could be our turn for a general bath renovation later in the fall. I don't know. So some of the plexiglass, roughly half and half. These are about half of them. I didn't count, but whatever. A bunch of them are glass. A bunch of them are acrylic or plexi, whatever you call it. The plexi ones could more sensibly be shipped, less danger of breakage, but they're still so freaking heavy. They're too bulky for the post office, even if that was working. It's just not practical to ship them overseas, you know. Shipping inside Japan would be easy. Wrap them in bubble wrap and away you go. The print that this paper is going to be used for will be in our, I think it's number 29 in our catalog. Or 29 or 30 in our catalog. It's the print of Mandarin ducks. It's a cold USI print. Can I get a better shot that gets both? It's difficult to get everything in here. Can we get that? I don't know. Also, there's still some flicker now. This flicker is different. I replaced the bulb. Remember we had a flicker on the stream the other day and it was flickering to me. The bulb was getting old. I tossed it, put a new one in, and I now with my eyes can't see any flicker. I do see on the screen some flicker, and this is now obviously, what's it called? Shutter or whatever. Rolling shutter? I don't know. No, that's not the right thing. But anyway, the electrical cycle. We're probably 30 FPS on the video, and it's 50 cycles or something. I don't know. I don't remember what we are here in Tokyo. Did it get worse when I moved the camera? Really? Some saying Japan is 60. It's both. It's 50 and 60. I can't remember which half we're in. There's a border somewhere around halfway down the country near Osaka. There's a line, and Japan is 50 on one side and 60 on the other side. It's the kind of thing you're going to say, what? And the only answer is don't ask. It's obviously its legacy. It's historical. I think a German company came in to set up one end and an American company came in to set up the other end. I don't remember which is which. So we're 50 here, are we? I can't remember what. Yeah, you think you got problems. You try and be an electrical distribution engineer. When there's nuclear power plants, there's solar, there's thermal, and there's a bunch of different private companies doing this, and they're all linked in one huge grid, which has 2 different cycles. Welcome to the job from hell. I think there's no zone of transition. Nobody's got 55. It's either, one or the other. I don't know. Yeah, so that's why I said we're probably doing it at 30 FPS and we're here at 50 cycles. So, I can't change it now in the middle of the stream, but if somebody reminds me, I could actually try doing that for the next stream up here. But then again, if I set it for 25 FPS, would that just make the video rendering chaos? I don't know. And even when we set 30, it's not 30, right? It's 29 point something something. I don't remember. I think we're doing well here today. It's only 8:20. We're almost a quarter of the way through. I can change the frame rate of the camera without topping it. No, I'm not talking about the camera. I'm talking about the broadcast frame rate here. Inside OBS, I've set 30 FPS. Yeah, we've got to set the camera. The camera frame rate is what matters. If the camera doesn't see flicker, yeah, I get you. But wait. The camera is plugged into the wall here. So the camera has got, it's not battery, it's plugged into the wall at 50 hertz. The light on the wall is at 50 hertz. So the camera and the light themselves should, I think, not be having any problem with this, right? Other than the fact that this is fluorescent. I don't know. We're over my head here, science-wise. don't know. We're just going to get in more trouble than it's worth if we start messing around here. We're going to get in trouble. I think I will just leave it here. Well, I'll investigate later. I can sit here all day messing with this thing. I don't see an easy selection of frame rate, just modes, HD, SD, etc., etc. I will investigate later. I don't think it makes sense to mess with it right now. Also, this is a little handy cam. This is not a DSLR or something. Someone's talking about ISO rates and stuff like this. I don't think I have that fine level of control here. This is a point and shoot handy cam. Okay, about the next room, the middle room. We're going to gut it. We had a construction company in here yesterday to take a look-see. For me to look at the guy and think, are they capable of doing the work we want? And for the guy to look at us and think, what kind of a job can we do here? Can we do a job for them? They seem okay. It's a company that's recommended by one of the people that work here, has experience with them. So we've got sort of a construction company lined up. Up to now, all the construction here, the bathroom on this floor, the table I'm on, third floor, second floor, first floor, everything, we've always done it ourselves. Dave, with a huge help from Aoyama-san. Aoyama-san built the third floor printing room there all by himself. I didn't even raise a hammer. The point being, we've done it ourselves. The next construction job we have planned here, it really doesn't make any sense to do it ourselves. Aoyama-san, the super handy guy, is no longer with us. I'm handy, but like I'm kind of busy. We're doing well. Patreon support has been good. Profits have been good. We have money in the bank. We're busy. It makes no sense for me to get a crowbar and start fixing that room. It makes all the sense in the world to call in the pros to do this. The question is communicating with them what we want. When we're doing the work ourselves, that's not a problem. We think about an overall plan, we make some rough sketches, we get the crowbar out and we get to work. And it adapts and changes and moves along as we discover and as we get under work. This guy yesterday, he wants a detailed plan of what we want. And I don't have a detailed plan. I have a fuzzy idea. So that's my problem right now. I have a room there which has to be gutted, and we have a rough plan. I need the desks, 3 desks, this kind of a storage space, this kind of a that. How to arrange the 3 people's workspaces in an empty box. It's not just desks on the floor, one in that corner, one in that corner, one in that corner. We have an idea to make this into a 3-dimensional space, because it turns out Well, again, we'll get to it at the end of the stream with the camera. You can see the roof above me is way up. I could not, it's 3.1 or 3.2 meters high. We've got a subfloor, and this room doesn't have a ceiling. The room next door has a dropped ceiling and a raised floor, and inside it there's about a 1.9 space that people walk. The room is actually 3.1, and we need 3 people's workstations in there, as well as much sensible storage as we can possibly get from it. So given that it's 3.1 meters tall, Dave here is thinking that we have to use a mezzanine system. Some of the desks are up on a mezzanine. Those people can walk without banging the roof, and below the mezzanine is some kind of storage space. This is the rough concept I'm thinking about. If we just put 3 people's desks here and there and put the storage above it, we've got heavy stuff on shelves all around the room. This is earthquake territory. I do not want to do that. So what I'll be asking for ideas is this. When the sizing is finished here, I'm going to take the camera and show you the room. But the concept I can explain right now. The room is about 3.7 meters long. It's about 3.4 meters wide and 3.1 meters high. It's almost like a cube, almost like a box. In that space, we need an entrance at the left side on one corner at ground level. And we need the exit to be in the middle of the back wall at halfway up level, because the distant room has a subfloor. There's a hanging beam across the middle of the room at the top. That's the constraints. In that space, I now need to build 3 workstations and a ton of storage. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, I guess there's probably software now, got a software, you put the cube here, click your mouse, move it up and move this around. I guess there's software, but my God, the learning curve for something like that. Well, how do they get up and down from the mezzanine? Obviously, we need steps. Steps have to be part of it. People are going to be walking around carrying boxes of prints. We can't have anything like a ladder or anything that's difficult or any sort of balance along this place. It's got to be all smooth, walkable, and safe. How big an area? The workstations. We're talking about people with a desk and a computer. A workstation, I just meant, somebody sits at a desk with a computer. One of the people, Yamada-san, he's a double monitor. The other people don't. And again, if there's some kind of software that I can use in a browser or something to do this, but it seems to me this is 3-dimensional stuff we're talking about. If it was just floor plan, that's easy. I can get into Photoshop and do that, or Illustrator and do that. But this is 3-dimensional. So I've got to figure out what to do and then present it to the construction company, and they will look at it, come and inspect the place. They will give me an estimate, and we'll go from there. Someone says SketchUp is easy 3D modeling. I thought SketchUp was like sketching. I don't know, I'm sorry. That's been around for decades, right? Didn't Google buy them a million years ago? SketchUp. I may be thinking of something else. Do I have an architect friend? I don't know. I mean, I'm not adverse to hiring a designer, what I'd like to be able to present to a designer is, you know, we've got this concept. Okay, we are now halfway through. 30 sheets we've done at the top side. We're now going to flip them. And I think because they're thin and narrow, let's see. I think I might disappoint everybody here. I think I can just flip this myself. They're thin and narrow. Yeah, we can just do this. I can just pick it up. You just got ready and lay it down. No way can I try that with wider sheets. Someone says use sketching for woodwork projects, but we're talking about modeling space. Is that okay? I wouldn't mind, somebody says free version or paid version. I wouldn't mind paying for software, of course, but I don't want to buy something first and I realize that I can't use it without 99 years of training or something. It's got to be something I can sort of use without being screaming of frustration, you know. SketchUp is 3D space design. Okay, okay, okay. Someone's saying call in an architect. Japanese, you know. Just things expand and expand and expand. You call in a pro to do something and just it grows exponentially complicated. They don't do things simple, you know. I think if I were in Canada, I could call somebody, he'd come over, we'd stand and chat and sketch and it would be done in a half an hour. When you call a Japanese person, it just exponentially gets complicated. It takes ages and everything has to be done pinpoint perfect and let's call City Hall and just oh. So it's nothing to do with the money, nothing to do with I don't want to pay for services. That's not the point. I don't want to make this grotesquely overly complicated. It's sort of like the difference, like I'm going to use maybe a weird analogy here. It's the way SpaceX build rockets as opposed to the way NASA builds rockets. If I call a Japanese person to help me with this, it's NASA. I want SpaceX. If you know what I mean, you get what I'm talking about, you know. Let's just get it done. Don't give it too much on that corner. I think we're okay. We're getting a smooth, good coverage here. I'm happy with the work. So John's saying SpaceX's philosophy is fail fast. I get it. But I think you know what I'm talking about. The point being, get a piece of paper and a pencil, draw something, get it figured out, and like, let's get this thing going instead of planning for 30 years, you know. It's not the best analogy, I know. But I think it communicated the point. We'll have our workroom go up in flames when we plug in the first computer, you know. So, someone's talking about get cardboard. This is an idea. Before I start cutting cardboard, I want to get an idea in my head and then maybe cut some pasteboard, cardboard up. I get it. This is very much. It's old tech, it's low tech. And it gets to the point where we're going to try and communicate to the construction company. I think we will do that. But I'm still a step before that. Cardboard aided design, yes. Actually, if Sadako's on the stream here, she'll be laughing right now. She was showing me a picture a while back. She's got grandchildren. And one of her grandsons or something was interested in Japanese armor. And on his visits to Grandma's place, to Sadako's place, I guess they've got some cardboard. Somebody, he or she, started the idea quite a while ago, let's do something with cardboard. And now at his grandma's place, Sadako's place, hanging on the wall, there's like a Japanese suit of armor, all made out of cardboard. And he comes over and he works a bit more on it and builds it up. And I guess, I guess at the end of the day, there's going to be this massive, when it's finished, there's going to be a massive Japanese suit of armor made from cardboard. I don't think this is Halloween stuff. I think the boy is older than that. But so yeah, build it with cardboard. Sadako already knows how to do that. So. Another question, somebody's got this. This is a real interesting question. When working with Japanese construction companies, are you using metric or shaku? Well, I don't have a lot of experience with this because we've done all our own construction by ourselves. The easy, quick answer, when we go to the home center these days to buy stuff, we're buying a piece of plywood, a piece of wood, whatever. The measurements in the home center are all metric. But the thing you buy, the standard sheet of plywood is, what is it? It's 908 millimeters by 181816 millimeters. It's not like 4 by 8, it's a piece of plywood numbered in millimeters, but obviously it clearly reflects a traditional size dimension of traditional buildings. So it's a complicated issue, it's a complicated story. And I'm sure, I don't know, still, when they build a modern skyscraper, I can't believe they're using shaku or anything. But in small-scale construction, especially renovation, you got a building that's made a while ago, it's in traditional sizes. And, it's a sort of the sizes of the tatami are a certain size, and the walls reflect the tatami size. It's complicated. Someone's asking trade shows for Japanese. I know nothing about this whatsoever. Nothing. I'm sorry. We ourselves, the work we've done here, we measure our space in millimeters. We go to the lumber store and we buy stuff in millimeters. We ourselves don't use shaku and sun. And here, a good example is the paper from Murata-san. You saw me. We sized some paper a while back that we got from Murata-san. The ni sanban. It's ni, 2, san, 3. The paper is 2 nishaku by 3 shaku, nishaku. In real life, it's 606 millimeters by 909 millimeters. So it's the overlap. So here in our day-to-day life, we're using millimeters as the numbers, but the actual dimensions do reflect traditional dimensions. It's complicated, absolutely complicated. All of our communication with this company will be using millimeters and meters. It will be metric, all of our calculations. We've probably mentioned when we talk about shaku and the Japanese traditional measurements, there's an interesting twist. There's a word that has gone into English these days. There's a Japanese musical instrument called a shakuhachi, the vertical flute type instrument. And the name is the dimension. The dimensions are, shaku is a thing. It's about a foot, somewhere near a foot. And inside a shaku, the next division are called sun. 1 sun, isun, nisun, sanzun. So a shakuhachi instrument traditionally was in the size of ishaku, 1 shaku, 8 sun. So it was 1.8 shaku was the length of the traditional shakuhachi. And 1.8 shaku is ishaku hasun. And this became shakuhachi. So the name shakuhachi of the instrument is, they're describing its dimension. And now they come in different sizes. You might see a guy playing a long, deep shakuhachi, and it's a, what's the word? The word doesn't match the reality. It's a, not a paradox, it's a anomaly. No, there's a word for it when the word doesn't describe what it is. It should be something else. It should be shakuju instead of shakuhachi or whatever. We're getting overloaded at the edge. I think I better pull the brush back here. It doesn't matter much. This print we're going to be making has white borders. So if the sizing was a bit too strong at the edge, it's not going to actually really cause any problems. But too much is too much. Anachronistic? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I'm sorry. Maybe there's no word. Not anachronistic. I don't know. I'm sorry. How's our time? 8:46. We're halfway through broadcast time. Whatever. We have lots to do. We have this. If I finish this, we'll go in and start hanging up. And maybe while we're hanging, we'll look at the room. I have a nice, good show and tell. I have a show and tell that needs big space to show. So we're set for content here. No problem. Oxymoron. Is that the word I was struggling to find? A normal shakuhachi is ishakuhatsun. A mini shakuhachi shouldn't be called a shakuhachi. It should be called something else. So is it oxymoron? Maybe that's the word. Maybe. Too much, too much, too much. Dave, concentrate. Oh! Don't look. Look away, look away, look away. Nothing to see here, folks. Someone's saying, did something happen? I put too much liquid on one of the sheets. It's no big deal. There's quite an amount of leeway here. If any given sheet has a bit weak sizing or a bit strong sizing, it's no big deal. If consistently I'm too weak or too strong, the printer will have difficulty. We are well within parameters here for most of these. But for one of those sheets a moment ago, I didn't wipe off enough. I hit too slowly and we got a big pool of liquid. Hopefully nobody was watching. Why is there a paperclip on the board? There isn't. This is a kizu. This is, somebody knocked it. Somebody, don't know who. It's not a paperclip. It's a hole. And I can't use that area. So this board now is effectively only this wide. It's a, somewhere knocking, you know, in moving around, I banged it, or somebody banged it. At some point, if I get a couple more scratches or dings in it, I'll have to make a new one. So there's no rocket science here. I just wanted a flat, hard, waterproof, smooth surface. Kizu, kizu. It looks like a paperclip, I guess. I'm sorry. Yes, I saw it. Nothing I can do about it. I don't know what it is. It could be a defect in the paper itself. It could be that there was a lump of something. My size doesn't go into the paper. So there's something in that sheet of paper, some defect, such that the size didn't go inside. There's absolutely nothing I can do about it. It'll be invisible once the thing is dried. It may be something that will cause a problem for the printer, maybe not. I really can't do it. If there were more of them coming up, I would have a problem. I would have to investigate. One little tiny thing, it just goes by in the wash. Nothing I can do. It's not oil. If it turned out that it was oil, and that's what the size did, it would start to be spreading. It could go to the next sheet. There's something in that sheet. And because it's all wet now, there's no way for me to mark it. It would be kind of cool if I had a marker or something, dab a mark on that sheet so that when it's dry, I can isolate that one and ask her to use it for a test. But if I tried to use a pen or something or mark here, it's going to flood and spoil the paper more. You're watching carefully. Thank you, thank you. No, no more. Remember one of the times a few months ago we were in this room and Dave did this magic trick. I did something and nobody noticed. I don't remember. Been a little bit heavy there, cotto heavy. Just before 9 o'clock. Oh, light, light. There's a tiny streak hanging in there. Focus, Dave. Focus, focus. Are you talking about here? I think in general, we're still in that same thing, you know. This is darker than here. And I think I might be a bit light still in this area. I was trying to be careful when we started the stream today, when I started doing this. I was trying to be vigilant about that, but it could be a bit light here. Still could be a bit light. Oh no, there's another factor here, remember. This is not Murata paper, this is Iwano paper. And there's a fair amount of variation in the thickness from sheet to sheet, you know. Bird, is there a bird? Huh? I can hear crows outside. Is there something else? Does anybody else see at the far end of the paper a thin area? Well, I'm not sure. The paper itself, here, if I try and hold this up before we size this one, I don't know how much you can see. The paper itself, the end area, this section here, is much thicker than the rest of it. It's where the mulberry fiber has clumped up at the end of the sheet as they rock it. So both ends will look different. See the color difference? Look at this. You can see this. Because the mulberry itself is much thicker in that area. As I was wiping across, leaving a nice even amount, but when I get to the end, that last section, the mulberry is quite thicker. So there should be a visible difference. It is. Look, you can see it looks whiter. The last 3 centimeters looks whiter than the rest. The paper is thicker at that point. It shouldn't be, but it's whatever, that's the way we get it these days. And so when I go smooth all across, I'm dumping the same amount everywhere, but that's thicker paper. And now this, we're looking at this from the back side, we see that's whiter. Now that actually is not going to be a big deal because that's going to disappear. Wait, which way did I? Yeah, it goes this way. Not all of it. We're going to put 2 prints, and the print will end maybe 2 centimeters from the end of the paper. It's always a problem with Iwano paper. The last couple of centimeters is really, really rough and thick. And I think they're crazy because it's costing them a lot of extra mulberry fiber that builds up there. And if they were more careful with it, they'd save themselves a lot of fiber, I think. Oh, again, too thick there. Things are what they are. I don't know if we can see it. If I get a piece of paper. Yeah, you can maybe see it here. Look at this, look at this, look at this. This is another sheet of paper. This is a thin strip taken from the same length. This is the same length. Can we see this? Which camera should I use? There's the front of the paper. You can see it. Look, 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 look. Absolutely. There's even a bump. The light is right above me, so it's showing a shadow bump. This is normal paper, normal thickness, and then at the end, around here, it's much thicker. We could never use that section for making paper. So it doesn't matter what happens sizing-wise there. But as my brush goes across it, of course it reacts differently. In really, really nice, good paper, the old Iwano paper from generations ago, or from Murata-san's paper now, you don't see that. They're more careful rocking the fiber. She's more careful. She's younger. She's trying to build a reputation. She's being more careful with every aspect of it. That other factory, they're at the end of their career. They don't care much. And it ain't like it used to be. And we've got evidence. I have one or two sheets from every batch of paper I bought from them going back to the late 1980s. So we have samples of their paper going back 30 plus years. We don't use it all. We never use to the bottom of a pack. We keep the last one or two sheets. They're labeled with the date we got them. It's a massive, massive resource. They're scattered. Some of them are here in Asakusa, some are in Ome, some are in the basement over there. It's not a well-organized resource at the moment, but it is there. Someone's asking about with their progress on the diagnosis. Murata-san has some ideas for what would have happened. We have some instructions for the next batch of paper. We're going to see. She's on it, supposedly. It should be happening soon, actually. Okay, there we are. All brushed. How's our time? 9 o'clock. No time to wash this. I'll wash this after we're all done. Okay, let's do this a little bit differently. You know what's supposed to happen now. I'm supposed to take this into the next room and hang it up. What I want to do is I'm going to move the camera while it is live, and I want to show you the room. Hang on a second. Let me get the light on. Actually, I can't do that because the camera has no battery. It's got to stay plugged in. Okay. Plan B. Let me think about this. Plan B. Where's the power? There's that. I'm going to be able to get there. Okay, plan B. We do have to do it the same way. I'll move the computer first, then I'll move the camera, but I'll keep the camera back in the doorway of the room. So let's do it. I don't have an extension cord, and as soon as I unplug the camera, it's going to go back to demo mode because there's no battery on it. So let's just do our normal move. First step, I will turn the camera off here in OBS. Camera's off. I'm going to unplug the camera from the computer. And then move the computer into the next room. The audio should be still okay. We're plugged in there. We're going to take this with me. I'm going to have to unplug the power. One sec. Okay. Here we go. Walking through to the next room. And we're not on Wi-Fi. We're wired here. We're plugged in with Ethernet. So I've got that cable trailing me as well, an Ethernet cable. Are we still live? I think we're still live. We can forget that. Now we take the camera. Maybe one day doing these, we should just set up a second camera in this room ready. And all I do is I switch from camera A to camera B instead of actually physically moving the camera. That might be a way to do this, you know. Okay, we need power for the camera. power. Camera is now into the video card. If I turn it back on, we get nice. Okay, let me put this down for a minute. Let me see if I can use the camera to browse around the room for a minute. We're in, I can't see the chat, so let me get back behind the camera. Excuse me. We're at the entrance. We're at the entrance to the room. I'm going to zoom out as much as I can. We're looking at the far end of the room. At the moment, there's a dropped ceiling. That ceiling disappears, and we have 3.1 meters height. The same thing, we have a tatami mat here covered with a mat. This goes below. There's another 40 centimeters below this. That door over there, that's the door to the printer's room, and that would be the exit of our new workspace. The entrance to the new workspace will be this part, the room. You come into the room. Through here, through the entrance at the left. So I don't know. It's just basically a box. The idea is on this side of the room to have a loft halfway up, so there would be a floor about there, and then above this, two people would be working. Remember, the ceiling is much higher than what you see now. One person would work in that corner, another person would work in this corner. Over on the left-hand side of the room, the person working here would work at floor level. The desks would be at the floor level, the entire wall will be covered with shelves, and that will be a packing area and preparation for the flea market. So somehow I've got to design inside this room a system with a mezzanine and stairs. And I'm not quite sure how to do that. I can scribble with a pencil, but the guys are going to need a lot more than pencil. Let me get my paper and let's start hanging up some paper. It will help to adjust the font size here. Excuse me a sec. Chat settings, chat appearance, largest font size. Okay. So much flammable material. Well, we are a company that works with paper and wood. Yeah. We don't have open flames here other than one that you just saw me use. I had a gas stove, which we turned off the instant we're finished with it. There's no other flames here. People don't smoke. I'm not sure what other options I have. We deal in paper and wood. Flammable stuff. Okay, we have 30 sheets here, so it's going to be 15 back-to-back pairs hanging up. We can do this in a few minutes and we'll move to show and tell. Frames, there's more frames in the way here. Just get frames out of the way. The sizing looks like it came very well, you know. It looks beautiful. It looks smooth on each sheet, as far as we can tell so far. Well, baseball, has the game started? Has the World Series now started? I don't know. I'm not sure what to think. As a living in Japan and as a Canadian, who should I be rooting for in this World Series? I don't know. The sizing is nice. I don't know if you can see. It looks really smooth, really clean. Starts Friday, yeah, not yet, can I? The sumo thing that happened, and as somebody's mentioning in the stream here, in the chat there, the event that happened in London the last week, sumo going, and I guess it was a spectacular success. They put on a wonderful show. They prepared well. They had everything done properly. The PR was good. The guys did a good show. Everything just clicked. It seemed to, from what I see in the news reports, that it was just an incredible experience over there, having sumo over there in London in the Albert Hall. And the other day, a couple of us here at Mokuhankan, we were seeing those reports, and we looked at that and we thought, Japanese culture, going overseas, attracting millions of people live, tens of thousands of people in the room cheering for what was going on, excitement all around the place, just win, 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 win. Should that be us? You know, could Mokuhankan do this? We can't fill the Albert Hall with people watching me hang sizing paper. Obviously, you know, the thing that we do is not a sport, spectator sport. But the idea of taking our specific Japanese culture, well, this is what we're doing, really, I guess. We're doing it at our own level with YouTube and right now, today, with this stream. In our own little way, we're doing our little part for the specific aspect of Japanese culture, spreading it around the world, you know. Here is that sheet. Can we see it on camera? I'm not sure how much it's going to show. Can we see it? There is the sheet that had that white spot. There it is. Can I mark it? I think I can mark it. What I'm going to do, I can't mark it with a pen or something, but I can mark it with scissors. Hang on a sec. Scissors, my kingdom for a pair of scissors. Let's see. We can mark this. Because I think that once it's dry, it won't be visible. But if I cut off this corner, these strips are going to get 2 prints each. The prints are about a B5 size, a B5 dimension. Sometimes the paper that I'm hanging after sizing, we get 6 smaller prints. The paper today is going to make 2 prints, 1, 2. And they will be the Mandarin Ducks print in our catalog. I think it's number 29, 29 or 30, I can't remember. Is somebody throwing around chocolate eggs? Okay. This has gone well today. You know, the sizing really does look smooth for the most part. There were a few sheets there where, as you saw, I was getting a bit loosey-goosey with it and didn't do a good focus. But most of these sheets, it looks like good, solid, top putty sizing. I think Chiara-san, the printer, will be very happy with it. We're going to be a bit unsure over the next few weeks as the temperature changes. And we're moving into difficult territory. Sizing is always, always, always easier in the summer. The paper flows smoothly, it doesn't stick together. I mean, the liquid flows smoothly into the paper doesn't stick together. There seems to be more leeway. If the sizing is a bit strong or a bit weak, the printer's still okay with it. Moving into the winter, it's much, much more difficult. We heat up the table that we're doing it on, but it's still, the liquid doesn't seem to flow well. The sheets start to stick together because it's cold. It's going to get more difficult over the next couple of months. Okay, almost done. About 4 sheets, 6 sheets left. I haven't been watching. Is there questions? How's our time? 9:17. We're okay. We're just right. We will have a show and tell. It's not going to be much of a surprise, but it's going to be fun. And we're in the perfect room for showing it. Oh, the camera, it's gone into, what do you call it, mode. It's gone into demo mode. We unplugged it, you know. Menu, just a sec. Different settings, demo mode setting, turn it off. It defaults, when you boot up the camera, it defaults to demo mode on, unfortunately. Sorry about that. And because it's not running on a battery, I hear people talking downstairs. Ayumi-san has arrived. Her paper is out, as you know. Okay, the paper is hung. Oops. Time for a show and tell. Let's get the box. Hang on. Ayumi-san、おはようございます。紙出しましたよ。 Where am I going to do this? Where's the best place to do this? Ittone. I don't know. Can we see this here? Tip it down a bit more. Yahoo auction page, 3,000 yen. What a live, man. It's live. If you get changed, close the window, close the door. Nanda. Okay, when I saw this come up on auction the other week, a couple of weeks ago, it started at a low price, but I was thinking there would be quite a lot of interest in it because the designer of this one is a well-known designer. This is our friend Tokuriki Tomikichiro in Kyoto, who made more prints and published more prints in his life than I've had hot dinners. Insanely productive guy and an insanely productive workshop. He worked by himself at first, but then hired people and hired carvers and printers to do the work for him. He even had foreigners working for him. Dave Stones, who came here to Japan years ago, he first cut his teeth working in Tokuriki's workshop. We have a scroll. We have a scroll. What's the bird? What type of bird? Suzume? So it's a kind of bird. We can clearly see. Huh? Uzura. Do you know this kanji? I don't know this kanji. Uzura. What's the English name for the Japanese bird called uzura? I have not the slightest idea. Somebody, quail. Okay, we've got it. Thank you. Quail. Ah, じゃあ卵も食べるかな。そうか。Okay. Ooh, this is one heavy. Whoa. This is way heavier than a normal scroll. And I don't know what's going on here. We have the end of the scroll and it's sort of something wood. I don't know. Let's find out. The box is fabulous. It's Polonia wood box. The box, huh? Quail? Hi. Anyway, I don't remember. I expected that I would have to pay a lot more for this, and I thought it would go too high. But as it turned out, what was the auction? It turned out, nobody, just me. Nobody wants this. Nobody wanted it. Maybe they knew something that I didn't know. I don't know. My God, look at this. This is going to be too big for me to handle. Nanda. Look at this. Why would they have such a huge piece of wood at the bottom? I don't know. Oh, I think I can guess what they've done. Yeah, this is not a good idea or it's a good idea. Let me try and lift up the bottom. They've put a massive piece of wood around the roller at the bottom. And I think what they're trying to do, when we make woodblock prints, we have to use a fairly thick paper to do so. And it doesn't roll easily. I've made my own scroll print, and after I finished making the print, I tore the back of the paper off to make the print thinner, because you can't roll it too tightly without creasing it. And what they've tried to do here, let me hang this up somewhere so I can let go. No. There's a hook. We got a hook. I think what they've tried to do, they've put a big, fat, heavy piece of wood at the bottom in order that the thing will roll up not so tightly. Mami-san, look at this. Did you see? そう、いや、なぜか、ロールの時に、畳む時に、和紙にあんまり傷、なんていうの、how do you say it? If it was rolling really, really tightly, the paper would crease. But they've made a fat roll so that the angle of rolling. Look at this. Look at this. You can see there's a crease line inside. The paper's too thick to become a scroll. 書き軸になるための和紙じゃないですよ。紙は厚さがありますよ。じゃそうすると、このものも厚くなったら、なんとかできると思ったんですが、they still have a couple of creases.
でもこうやってかけとけば伸びない。
Tokuriki's signature, seal, and they're kind of nice little birdies. Quail. It's okay. This is not a masterwork. The coloring on the leaf is a bit sticky. It's 1, 2, 3 colors with some red dots. It's kind of typical Tokuriki style. It's nicely done. If they had maybe got a few more blocks and take a bit... このぼかしがないでしょ？うん。ちょっと京都の観光客のような絵ですね。
なんかだってすごい5分入ってますよね。
うん。いつもこの悪くはない。
うん、かわいいすごく。うん、
3000円。そう。So someone's got it. The yellow in the maple leaf is jarring. He hasn't just got the nice feel and mood. We've talked about this before when comparing prints with different publishers. There's people that have got a sense for these colors and how to make them work, and there's people that sort of don't really care. And that yellow, again, we would never, ever, ever, ever do that in our work here. There would have been a bit of tint in the yellow, and it really does need a gradation between the two. Overall, though, it's cool. Cool. The yellow, it's funny though, because the yellow on the feet does have some black mixed into it. It's tinted nicely. Any particular reason why there's a lot of white space? Because you are in Japan. Kuhaku ga taisetsu desu. White space is mostly what these things are about. But having said that, look at this. Nani? Yohaku. I'm sorry, get my Japanese right. Thank you. Kuhaku. What? I got the wrong word. Sorry. Yohaku. Okay. But if we put on our artist criticism hats, then let's keep this up. What about the placement of the leaves? Are these leaves floating down in the air, or are they sitting on the ground? And why are they all exactly the same distance apart? I think if I was the art teacher here, which I would never ever should be in the world. I think if I was the art teacher here, I would look at that composition and think that maybe go back and try it again a little bit. Yohaku. Someone's corrected me again. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Yohaku. Nay. I know somebody's asking about the rod. It looks like it does slip off. It looks like it does. The big rod at the bottom slides out. Can we see it or not? The big fat piece of wood at the bottom does slide off. And I guess if you were going to display this then, you would take it off for display and you would put it back when you were packing it. It's a cool idea actually, you know. Take it off. If you tried to roll it up with such a tight, small roll, the paper would definitely have creased. But with this fat roll in there, it's minimized the creasing on the paper. I don't know if that's a standard idea in scrolls or if this is something they came up with for this one. I don't know. It's cool. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Okay, let's sign off. We're going to have to move that. That better? Okay, let's sign off. I'll be here 2 more days from now on Saturday. It's going to be desk work. I have share certificates to sign. I have Ukiyo-e Heroes prints to sign. I have to emboss some Ukiyo-e Heroes prints. Saturday stream is going to be desk work downstairs. And maybe there will even be some separation work going on at the same time. Hey, people are complaining about my computer. The keyboard is nice and clean. It's with a dust cover, but I can't put a dust cover on the screen. I'll see you on Saturday. Thanks very much. See you then. Let's get out of here. 3, 2, 1. See you on Saturday. Bye for now. Thanks.